What a crowd, what a capital, what a country. Only two words. Only two words. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. There is no place I'd rather be right now than here, the true North, strong and free, celebrating Canada Day with all of you. I've had the privilege the last 6 months of crisscrossing our country. I've had to go visit some other countries for work, and I have never been prouder to say, I am Canadian. Nous sommes Canadiens, Canadiens.
We are Canadian.
And I'm particularly proud that in a world that's fraught with division, that we, under the maple leaf, have considered our options, and we've decided not to pull apart and fight, but to come together and to build. Because that's the Canadian way. That's what this country has done. Similar times when there's been these big inflection points in history, Canadians have chosen to come together and to step up. À la crête du Vimy pendant la Première Guerre mondiale,
at Vimy Ridge during the First World War, on the shores of Normandy in the Second World War, in the homes of the people of Gander after the terrorist attacks of September 11th.
We find ourselves in a situation where the world is being convulsed. We find ourselves in a situation where our economy is being attacked by a trade war that we didn't start. We find ourselves in a situation where our values are being tested by attacks on democracy and freedoms, attacks that we must resist. And once again, as the world becomes more divided and dangerous, Canadians are uniting. We're united. We're uniting and we're putting our values into action. Notre réponse est de bâtir un pays
is
fort.
to build a strong country. And that is what we are doing with Bill C-5 that has just been passed by a wide majority of elected members of Parliament.
What we have now is a new national building permit that allows us, indeed, it compels us to come together and to build, baby, build. To build our nation in full partnership with Indigenous peoples. To build, and thank you, Nathan and Victoria, for honoring us here today. There you are, yes. Together, we will build one Canadian economy connected by major projects, powered by Canadian energy, transformed by Canadian technology, and crafted by Canadian workers. Together, we will break down barriers so that you can buy Canadian anywhere, and you can work in Canada everywhere. Ensemble,
Together we will rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in our Canadian armed forces.
C'est essentiel.
That is absolutely critical, so that Canadian leadership is not only defined by the strength of our values, but also by the value of our strength. Yes, together we are taking control of our future.
Together we're writing our own story, not having it dictated to us by others. And Stephen, I like your idea. We have the fusion of Deadpool and Dune. We get Rain City Ryan into 007. This is Canada. Nothing could be better. Your Royal Highness, As you alluded to a few weeks ago in a historic throne speech, your brother King Charles told Canadians, and I quote, "We must be clear-eyed. The world is a more dangerous and uncertain place than at any point since the Second World War. And Canada is facing challenges that are unprecedented in our lifetimes." The King went on to stress that at this hinge moment in history, there is, and I quote, "an incredible opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and act bigger." And that is how Canada carved out the St. Lawrence Seaway in 5 short years. Et c'est comment nous avons organisé
And that is
l'Expo
how
67
we organized
en
Expo
seulement 4 ans
67
et demi.
in only 4.5 years.
It's time once again to harness the same industrious spirit to do things we previously thought impossible at speeds not seen for generations. So it's time that we build twice as many homes using Canadian technology, Canadian skilled workers, and Canadian lumber. It's time to build new trade and energy corridors with reliable partners. In partnership with the provinces, the territories, and Indigenous peoples. Il est temps de créer des centaines de milliers de bonnes
It is
carrières
time
dans
to
les
create
métiers
hundreds of
spécialisés.
thousands of good careers in the trades. And it is time to make Canada an energy superpower in green and conventional energy.
It's time to make our companies more competitive while we're fighting climate change. You know, not far from here, over a century ago, Thomas D'Arcy McGee eloquently put it that Canadians are at their best when we lift ourselves to the level of our destinies. Now, Canada is already the greatest country in the world. But our destiny is to make it greater still. And greatness isn't defined by words, it's achieved by actions. Greatness isn't something we just say, it's what we do for ourselves, but particularly for others. So, while we work to build the strongest economy in the G7, we know that that isn't an end in itself. But it's the way, it's the means through which all Canadians can live in security, in dignity, and in harmony. And while we enjoy this Canada Day with our friends and family, and I have to say, Sandra, we are off to a great start here. While we enjoy this Canada Day with friends and family, we remember that too many Canadians are still struggling and suffering. Alors que nous profitons nos parcs
As
et
we
de nos
enjoy
lacs,
our parks,
nous
our
n'oublions
pools and
pas
our lakes,
les changements
we must not
climatiques qui
forget
brûlent
the
nos
climate
forêts
change that is
et
burning our
détruisent
forests
la
and
biodiversité.
destroying biodiversity.
And while we enjoy peace and security at home, we witness the wars and terrors abroad. After 158 years, Canadians have accomplished so much in times of peace and war, in our laboratories and in our galleries, on the ice and in the swimming pool, on our land and in space, in our classrooms, our boardrooms, our community centers. We have so much to celebrate, and today we celebrate. But we also know that we have much more to accomplish. We are a country that is great because, in part, we know we can be even better. We're a country that does things because they're right, not because they're easy. A people that see kindness as a virtue, not a weakness. And now's the time to build a Canada worthy of those values, a Canada worthy of its great people, a Canada for all and for all time. Merci beaucoup. Vive le Canada!
Thank you all. Long live Canada.